Hello, this is Karthik Kannan, co-founder and CTO of Envision, and you're listening to White Canes Connect.
Hey there, PA Federationists. Welcome to another episode of White Canes Connect, presented by the National Federation of the Blind of Pennsylvania. My name is David Goldstein. I am your first vice president. Joining me today, as always, is White Canes Connect co-host and creator, Lisa Bryant. Lisa, how are you today?
I am well, and we have Karthik Kannan from Envision was with us about 4 years ago. I'm talking about the glasses at the time then that they were selling with or partnering with Google. But today they have a new product called Allied Solus. It takes that to a whole nother level.
It really does. And the fact that the price point is so nice and that these are made for us, the blind community, not oh my gosh, we made these social media glasses. Why do all these blind people keep buying them? So these were made for us. So I'm interested to see how they handle everything that we need to handle to tell us about menus or street signs or addresses or your mail, whatever it might be. And you can check that out now without even getting the glasses by going and downloading the Ally app for iOS and for Android, or right there on your desktop or laptop if you want. But the glasses come out at the end of September. They are available for pre-order right now, and you'll get delivery by the end of September.
So let's hear about the newest product from Envision, Ally Solos.
Karthik, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me on the show, David and Lisa. Super excited to be back here after quite some time. So I'm excited to be here.
Quite some time indeed. And thank you for reaching out to us again. For those who want to go back into our archives, we first had you on in November, and I believe it was 2021. And you were talking about at then very innovative product, which we'll reference, but you've given us sort of I don't know, do you call it a sneak peek, first dibs? Anyway, we've got special access to an announcement and some details about their newest product. But before those details, Karthik, why don't you just tell us a little bit about Envision as co-founder, when you started it, and what's the why behind starting Envision?
So Envision started about 8 years ago, and what we wanted to do was, I actually, to be honest, up until I started Envision, I didn't have anybody in my life who was blind or low vision. Not relatives, and it was more like, oh, blind or low vision folks were people who existed in society, and that's just how it was. But in 2016 or early 2017, I had a chance to visit a blind school in India in my hometown. And this is a school that caters to people who are blind or low vision. Kids, would do K-12 there, and then they would go on to do college and stuff like that. And this was and my mom's friend was the school principal there. And it was a small school, and they really didn't have any budget for a career counselor. So they found the next best thing, which was me. And they said, you know what, just come over to the school and give a talk to kids about what it is to be a researcher, an engineer, and stuff. And I went there with no expectations, to be honest, because I know how high school kids are. You've put them through a long day of school, and then in the end they have like some guy coming and talking about something for 20 minutes, and they just will be half interested in what you're saying, and they'd want to get home and stuff. So I had no expectations. I went there, I just, ambled through my talk, and I asked him this question, like which I asked my nephew the night before. I asked him, what problems would you like to solve when you grow up? Because I was trying to essentially tell the kids that, an engineer or a designer or a researcher is just somebody who just, wakes up in the morning, they have a to-do list of problems to solve, And, hopefully as they solve these problems, something good will come out of it, right? So as I keep ticking off every problem on my to-do list, maybe I'll come, the end result will be something worthwhile. And when I asked this to my nephew, and, he was a sighted kid, 12, 13 years old, he was like, oh, I want to build a city on Mars. I want to be able to travel to this planet and, do that. And these things that you expect like an ambitious or just a regular teenager, to say, right? And I asked these blind and low vision kids at the school what exactly were the problems would they like to solve when they grew up, and the answers couldn't be more contrasting. So the kids were like, "Oh, I would like to, you know, like live more independently. I don't want to live with my parents anymore. I wish I can just live by myself, or I want to be able to. So if the day is nice and sunny, I want to be able to just get out of my house and then go to the beach by myself. I wanted to be able to read a book by myself. I wanted to be able to go grocery shopping by myself and just take a walk in the park without having to worry about, planning my day. And I want to be able to do this kind of a job and that kind of a job. It started to become like a pattern emerged from those answers. And essentially what I realized was for a lot of blind and low vision people, the things that sighted people take for granted are things that are like, at least to those kids in the early days of them getting out into the world felt, insurmountable, right? And I realized that it comes primarily from a lack of access to information around them. And, that at that time, artificial intelligence was still a niche area, but it was starting to become a powerful tool. It was starting to become better than humans at a lot of different tasks, like being able to recognize faces, being able to read text, or detecting objects in the environment. And then me and my co-founder at that time, my and he's my friend to begin with, and then we started to like work on this together. We both really felt that we could take AI and apply it to this particular problem to see how we can improve independence for people who are blind or low vision. And that's basically how Envision started 8 years ago.
It's so interesting. I love that question that you posed to them, what problems do you want to solve? And the revelation to you that what, like you said, what sighted people see as every day, for those in the blind community, they're problems to be solved. So that was very insightful, and kudos to you for taking the ball and running with it. So when we first had you on, you were talking about what were the glasses then at the time? Because there was more than one product that sort of, I guess, put you on the map, so to speak. So tell us about some of the products previously, and then we'll get into what you're launching now.
So essentially, what happened was, when we first decided to solve this problem with AI, we wanted to be able to say, hey, okay, now we know these are the different areas of AI that are performing better than humans, and we built an app around them. So the initial version, the initial implementation was an app called the Envision AI app, which eventually became very popular in the blind and low vision community. It was an app that it was basically like discrete, AI functions that people could trigger with the tap of a button. And for example, if someone wanted to read a document, we had a feature called scan text. If you wanted to read short pieces of text around you, you had instant text, and then you had, describe scene to describe different scenes around you. And so it was like a Swiss Army knife kind of a tool that a blind or low vision person could use. But eventually, the kind of feedback we got on those was very interesting. Like, people liked it, but they were like, we want the better experience of this is to put it on some kind of a wearable, right? Something that would allow a blind or low vision person to use this tool hands free. And so then that's when we saw, okay, wow, we need to put this on a pair of smart glasses, right? And we started to hunt for which smart glasses would work best for us. And we came across the Google Glass Enterprise Edition, which we launched in 2020. We basically built the Envision glasses from scratch, and it was a standalone computer that sits on your face. It's got a camera on the right hand side. It's got a speaker on next to your, right ear, and it's got a bunch of, mics around it. Essentially, a person wearing these glasses will simply trigger different functions by just using the touchpad. So there's a touchpad on the side, and they swipe through the different menu options. And then when they come across something, they tap into it, or they double tap to trigger or to go deeper into a menu. So it was basically layered, and people could just use the glasses or the trackpad to navigate through it. And eventually, the glasses became really popular. We sold more than 5,000 units over the last last 4 years. And we've also then been thinking about, okay, now we've got this particular wearable, what next after that, right? And
Yep.
so that's what, that brings us to the present day.
And the present day is Ally Solos.
Yeah, that
All
is the
right.
Ally Solos glasses.
All right. So
Yes.
tell us the whole skinny.
Yeah. So with the Ally Solos glasses, the idea is, to build the next generation wearable, and and make it extremely affordable in terms of price, and and still offer the same set of, the same quality of AI that people have come to expect from Envision, right? To just back it up again, we followed a very similar path. We in 2023 we came across ChatGPT. I think a lot of people across the world were very enamored by ChatGPT, and it was a new thing, and it was a very powerful thing. For us, it was, one of the most important things to have happened to accessibility in a long, long time. That's the way we looked at it. It was not a chatbot. It was not something to, like, replace humans. We looked at it as a tool, augment people. And so we built the Ally app, which is a conversational personal AI assistant that's 100% accessible, that's built for the needs of blind and low vision people across the world. Essentially, what Ally can do is it can act as a companion. It understands the questions you ask it, the intent behind those questions, and picks the right tool to solve it. And you can ask Ally a whole host of questions because it's a very general AI. But what people do largely use it for, or what it excels at, is being able to read text. So you could ask it to read text of a product package. You could ask it to read text from a document or a book, or like a poster. Ally is able to read text incredibly well. It's able to recognize people. It's able to recognize objects, give you very detailed descriptions of the environment around you. You can couple all of that by, you can look up the weather with it. You can use it to search the internet. And Ally is a tool that's available for free on iOS, Android, and the web. And we thought, okay, the natural way of experiencing Ally is, again, to put it on a wearable, right? And while the Envision glasses do support Ally, we were looking for a wearable that was, one, really good in terms of the build quality, two, had great cameras, three, had an all day battery life, right? Four, was ridiculously simple to use, right? And five, it needed to be affordable. It needed to be something under $500, right? And so we started to look for options, and we came across a company in Hong Kong called Solos. They've been building glasses for a very long time, especially smart glasses, right? And we came across what they were building, and we decided to partner with them. And so now we're launching the Ally Solos glasses. It's available for pre-orders, today, and people can go ahead and purchase those glasses, and we ship them at the end of September. The glasses, essentially, you just take them out of the case. When you're buying it for the first time, you take it out of the case, you pair it once with your phone, very similar to the way you pair your AirPods or your smartwatch with your phone once, and then they stay paired with your phone, and you can basically just put the glasses on and start having a conversation with Ally, right? So you could be sitting at a restaurant, you could use the glasses to use Ally and read things around you, and so on and so forth. At the moment, the glasses are still in active development, and we will be shipping them out in by end of September. But I do have a pair with me
Oh,
right
I
here.
see. Okay. So
So
they're
these are the
still in
glasses.
okay.
Right. So I have one here. And so these are the glasses. They look like any other pair of glasses. They've got cameras on both sides, HD cameras. There is a trackpad to my right here, but you can use the glasses completely hands-free. And it's super easy to, like, charge those glasses as well. So because these are detachable stems, so I can just take out these stems and then take a USB cable and then simply plug the stems in here, and they support fast charging, which means they can charge up to 80% in under 10 minutes, and you get all day battery life with these glasses, right? And they have speakers located right next to your ear. But one of the really cool things about these glasses is that you can also use them indoors as well.
So you say that both stems charge? Or are you saying that there's batteries in both stems?
Yeah, there are batteries in both stems. So both stems are detachable this way, so you can just pull them out, from the sides, right? And then you've got two batteries here instead of one, and then you could just charge both of them, in two separate charging cables, and you should be good to go. right?
Okay.
And you basically need to charge them for about 30 minutes or so in total to get a full day's battery life, and you should be pretty much good to go with that.
And I guess because you have the two batteries in, there are some other products out on the market now that has battery life has been an issue with the first version, or maybe it's the second version. So by having batteries in both stems, you pretty much have a whole day covered as opposed to that
Yeah.
other. Are the glasses based off of any popular models, comfort wise? How are they for comfort?
So they are, I think, I would say roughly they are the Wayfarers model, right?
Okay.
So that's what they look like. And in terms of, comfort level, you've got like, these glasses are about 42 grams, which is 1.5 ounces, right? And so they're super comfortable to wear all day. That was one of the key things that we wanted to get right with these glasses, that we wanted to ensure that people could just wear them all day and use it at work, use it outside, at school, and you just need to like connect it to your phone and that's it.
I'm just curious. So some of us, I'm one of those people in between the world of the sighted and total blind. So I do wear prescription glasses for the sight that I have that still is correctable. And I also know some friends who wear glasses not to see, but they're just protection. So they're still
Yeah.
visually impaired or maybe even total, but wear the glasses for protection. In either case, what you're doing is you're taking whatever you would normally wear off.
You can very easily swap the lenses on these glasses. Like, you could very easily just take these glasses to an optometrist and then just swap them, optician, sorry, and then just swap them with the prescription lenses or dark lenses, right? And eventually, not right now, but eventually what we would do is we will also let people just order whatever prescription lenses they want directly when they're ordering the glasses as well.
I see.
So whatever your power is, you could just like put it in the system while placing an order, and then you can just get it directly from us. Or yeah, it's a 5-minute job at an optician. They should be able to swap out the lenses easily. Yeah, so we've thought about that as well. We wanted to just make sure that we cover as many bases as possible with this.
You had mentioned HD cameras in two HD cameras, right?
Two HD
Okay.
cameras, yeah.
So is there the capability of recording any video or taking pictures with the glasses?
Definitely, definitely. So you can take pictures with these glasses. You can't record videos at the moment, but one of the things that we will eventually do is give people like let people create a photo gallery directly from the pictures they've taken, with these glasses, right? They can take it in burst mode, they can take it in regular capture mode, and we could even use AI to basically, guide people a bit or help them when they want to take pictures if it's low light and things like that. It's definitely something that is possible to do with these glasses. And yeah, like, the thing is, these are capable of capturing up to 4K in resolution. So you should be able to capture really detailed pictures with these, like what you might do with a smartphone.
Eventually video or not yet, or not even in the planning stage?
We're not planned it yet. I think, one of the things that we want to ensure is build the glasses out in such a way that it does provide like an all-day battery experience. So at the moment, we're not focusing too much on video or streaming, but we might have this in this version of Ally Solos, or maybe in another version of Ally Solos as well.
How is it when you are in an area? I know I've had trouble with, I've owned a couple of different pairs of smart glasses. And one of the issues that I have is when I was at an event over the weekend and I was in a hotel that
Mm,
Wi-Fi is always, a crapshoot. And
mm,
I didn't have Wi-Fi on my phone. So that kind of limited me to what I could ask and what I could do with the glasses that I had on. Is there an
yeah.
issue, same type of issue with yours, or is there another way around?
One of the things is the glasses are dependent on the internet in some way, right? They are dependent on the internet for the time being to connect to Ally and have a conversation with it, and get it to do things. At the moment, you do require an internet connection. Having said that, one of the key things about Envision that people really love with the Envision app, with the Envision glasses, is the fact that it does have offline capabilities, right? And there's been some amazing work happening in the open source space. We are experimenting with a lot of offline AI models and ways to make that work on the phone. So you can definitely expect us to come out with a bunch of offline features for Ally very soon. Because yes, like anyone who's using AI, knows that you need to have internet connection to make it work, right? From ChatGPT to Claude to Gemini to everybody requires an internet connection, but that's not something that, it can't be expected to be the case, especially if you're building an accessibility product. It needs to be accessible in every way possible. So we will build offline features on Ally very soon. And when you buy a pair of Ally Solos glasses, they will also work offline as well.
So, in other words, if I want, again, just let's say I'm out and about, I have no internet connection, but I'm going to take a picture of a marquee, maybe for
Yeah.
movies or a menu that I don't necessarily need to know right there. Will I still be able to use it to take a picture that later on I can go back in and read everything about it?
Yeah, in fact, you will be able to take a picture and have the AI, read that out to you or describe it out to you as well,
Okay.
right? Both with being able to read text and give you descriptions, we will have AI that will work offline on your phone with these glasses in the next few months, right? So it's just a matter of like, fine tuning it and really like polishing this aspect, right? And letting people know that, hey, you know what, if you want to make Ally work offline, then just go download this AI. It might be about 500 to 600 MB, but once you download it and keep it on your phone, then you don't need to do anything else. Ally just works completely offline. That's where we want to get to. And yeah, we'll have that out very soon.
The way AI has been going, whatever day you're talking about AI, that's the worst day AI will ever be. So I would
Yeah,
imagine the same would be true in your glasses and the app. The day they come out, it's going to be good, but that's going to be the worst day it ever is until
yeah.
as you just keep building on what you've got.
No, that's the hit it right in the head with that insight, because that is true. It's the fact that right now things are progressing so fast that this is the worst it'll ever be. But yes, our aim is to have AI that works offline, because it's a very, very important aspect of making the product accessible.
So speaking of accessibility, I think I saw on in the release that you had sent us that these are the first glasses built for first AI glasses built for accessibility. So that to me at least this space seems very congested with all of these wearables and AI.
Yeah.
So can you like why is this so much more distinctive than all of those other ones out there and this claim that this is the first AI built for
Yeah.
accessibility?
I think it comes down to different aspects of what it means to be accessible, right?
Mhm.
I think a product is accessible when the person who's intending to use it can use it independently without any additional help, right? I think one of the key things that a lot of mainstream smart glasses still have to get around is, making the apps that they build truly accessible, making the process of actually, opening the product and then just, creating an account and then going through the process of pairing, all of that needs to be like accessible properly,
Mhm.
right? And a lot of mainstream smart glasses still have some ways to go before they can do that, right? Second thing is that it needs to be accessible in the sense that the core product, or the core AI product in this case, it needs to also perform all the tasks that a blind or low vision person wants it to perform without, like keeping them. So if you talk about some really popular mainstream glasses, for example, they don't describe people. They don't read out things to you. Like if you're asking to read a bank statement or if you're asking to read a letter, the AI makes a judgment call on your behalf, saying that, hey, I can't read it because it's basically what my legal team up in HQ told me to, right? And this is a serious, I would say, issue, because a lot of people buying these glasses, a lot of blind and low vision people buying these glasses are expecting it to work in almost every scenario, right? Whereas it's in the company's interest, to not do these things, because they're not meant to be an assistive device, and because they're such a big company, and they're kind of liable in a sense to like open up their AI and let it do a lot of these things, right? Also, Envision being a company that's independent, we're not forced to use, for example, Meta's AI products, right? There are much better AI models out there in the market today than what Meta offers, and it gives us the opportunity to mix and match different AI models, which is very, very important, because we can always assure customers that we're offering the best in class AI to them. The next part about accessibility is, like just in terms of pricing, right? We need, these glasses, or the key thing that we want to do with these glasses is to try and have it for under $500 without compromising on the quality, which is why it took us all the way from Amsterdam on 11-hour flight to Hong Kong to be able to find these people. And that's why I say, like accessibility to me also means, that, okay, you're building something, but it also needs to be really affordable and accessible to people. And that is why we're also calling this, like, or that's what accessibility means to me. So when I put all of this together, I personally, I'm yet to see a product that ticks off all these different boxes, right? And for us, having that is, like, so that's the reason why we make the claim of being the first accessibility, smart glasses in the space. And also accessibility in a sense, you can always reach out to Envision and talk to us. In fact, you can ask Ally to, put you in touch with an Envision AI support person. Right. It's as simple as that. Again, you don't have to learn, complex menus. You don't have to learn how to pair your glasses to the app, and you don't have to do all of these things. You can quite simply just, like, if you're stuck with something, you can just say, hey, Ally, can you just, like, connect me to an Envision support person and let them know that I'm having issues with the sound on my glasses, right? Or I'm having issues with accessing this feature. And Envision will just, Ally will just create a ticket for you and put you in touch with a support agent. So accessibility also in terms of how easy to use it is, while, like, fulfilling your demands, or like, getting you, getting things done for you without too much effort.
Will you be able to use the glasses to make that call and have that call
Yes.
while you have the glasses on? What about other phone calls or text messages, things like that? Same thing, or it won't really work with those?
It will. So the beauty of these glasses is that they also are a regular, or can function like a regular pair of headphones, right? So a regular pair of high quality headphones. These glasses also perform that function. So you could, for example, listen to music, dictate messages, answer phone calls, and even connect it to your Siri or Google Assistant and ask it to do things for you. So it's very, very similar in that way to a pair of headphones that also doubles up as smart glasses, basically. And at the moment, we don't have an option to, like, just on the call connect to a support agent.
Yeah.
I'll be over promising if I were to tell you that. That's not. We're still a small team, but I'm talking about,
Yeah. Yeah.
people just being able to, like, say, hey, can you, like, I'm having this issue, can someone from Envision contact me, right? It's as simple as that, instead of you having to, like, write a support email to us with your questions and stuff. And we tested this with a lot of older adults in this one, and it was very popular, the fact that you could just, like, tell the AI, I'm having a problem, and somebody from the company who's actually building the AI will get back to you without your having to do anything else.
I'm glad you reminded us of the other communities or groups that these glasses can be helpful to. So talk about that. People with older people who maybe aren't so tech savvy, and you don't have to be but so old to not be tech savvy, because like David said earlier, it's changing so rapidly. But there are other, besides the blind and low vision community, there are other groups that can benefit from the glasses. So tell us about that.
Definitely. I think, one of the most important user groups for us is older adults, right? I think older adults are the kind of category that they don't want to mess around with complex menus and apps, and, they don't want to create another 100th account. They don't have the time for that, right? The inclination to do it. And so we wanted to build something that really gets to the point, right? Like, just, like, put on a pair of glasses and say, if you're at a restaurant, you want to, read what's on the menu or know what vegan appetizers are on the menu, you should be able to do it without having to, like, invoke an assistant and then, hit some button and press this and do that. So it's really straightforward that way, right? And the beauty of Ally is it's both simple yet very powerful, which is a paradox usually in technology and engineering, because if you make something simple, it's not guaranteed that it's going to be powerful, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why you have pro versions of things, and but with Ally, it's very simple. You just put it on, you ask a question, and then Ally understands the intent and then does the work for you. And this underlying technology is only going to get better and better every single day, right? With every single model that's coming out, it's a great thing for us because we can just plug it into our system, and then we immediately reap the benefits of just, that understanding of what the user's trying to say and picking the right tool to help with it. That becomes very, very simple. Right. So for elderly folks, even though they're not, like, visually impaired, this is a great device because they can just put it on and then get things done. right? They don't have to mess around with an app. They don't have to worry about, like playing around with a phone and learning how an app works. They can just put it on and have a conversation with it. And we had our oldest, tester in the office, and she was 91, and she was able to she was able to pick this up in like 20 minutes time, right? Yeah.
I was just gonna ask you about the feedback that you got, while you were in development and getting the testing, because I think you also mentioned in the information packet that it's older adults, people with any cognitive disabilities. I guess the simplicity of how this works
Yeah.
is not so much a challenge for people with cognitive delays or developments, I should say, or
Yeah.
disabilities, I should say. So you got those. So you had older people, visually impaired, and any other disabilities. They were all part of the testing and the feedback while you were in development.
Yeah, I think, the Envision glasses was primarily aimed at people who are blind or low vision,
Yeah.
whereas with the Ally Solos glasses, we realized the opportunity to expand the impact of these glasses, and so we brought in people from more walks of life, people who are older adults, and the 91-year-old specifically, were the last phone that she used was a Nokia 1100, like those button phones, right?
Yeah.
Like she
Oh,
just
bless her heart.
yeah, like we dragged her from that, like we just leapfrogged her from that over to smart glasses. And for her it was very natural, right? First it was a bit, I think we spent 15 out of the 20 minutes trying to convince her that this is not another human being. That was She was very convinced that we were talking to another human being, and I'm like, no, this is just like a computer. And then so that was the thing. And once we had her in it, she was going around, she was reading things. She had difficulty reading things, so she just walked around the office and said, hey, can you tell me what's this meeting room saying? And it read out the name of the meeting room. She later took it to like a diner near the office, and then she just sat down and she started reading the menus. And she told us that, yeah, usually if I go to these places that are new, she often told about how even though she was perfectly healthy for her age, she often just went to the places that she kept wanting to go, that she knows, because the familiarity helps her to be more independent, right? And she was like, for the first time in over 2 decades, I'm actually going to new places, or I feel like I can go to new places, because now I don't have to think about, oh my God, okay, if I open up the menu, I don't know what to order. I'll have
Yeah.
to call somebody over, and they'll take their own time to come over, and then they'll tell these things to me, and I have to, like, like listen to what this person is saying intently and so on. With the glasses, she just put it on. She held the menu in front of it and said, can you tell me what the vegan appetizers are?
Mm.
Right? And the glasses just rattled off a bunch of names, right? And the beauty of Ally is you can also personalize it. So what Ally can do is, you can tell Ally things about yourself. So you can say, hey, I'm, these many years old, I've got this, and I'm mostly interested in sports, and just give like a biography of yourself, right? And you can keep appending to it, keep adding to that forever. And so Ally is also able to provide personalized recommendations that way, and it's able to keep the conversation more personal than just a regular, chatbot or assistant.
And following that woman's example, because that I know exactly what she means. I tend to go to the same places just because they're familiar, because it's too stressful sometimes to figure some new place out. I get mad at when the same stores they change their layout. Like, wait a minute, you can't do this to me. So speaking of
Yeah.
getting or going outside of your comfort zone, how do the glasses help with navigation? How do they help with, say, traffic lights, stop signs? Tell us, like, how do they make you more aware of your surroundings as you're navigating streets or sidewalks?
Yeah. The glasses are a great complement to the white cane, in the sense that while we don't offer any kind of real-time navigation with AI, because to me personally, I don't trust AI to do a
Yeah.
good job, with that. I still believe we are quite some time away from trusting AI to help a blind or low vision person navigate independently, right? It's a thing that a lot of people keep asking us, but we know we can build it in a heartbeat, but it's about whether we should or not, right?
Yeah.
It's not about whether we can, whether it's about whether we should. And so when you're out and about, of course, you can ask Alec questions about your surroundings. We're going to be introducing live video very shortly, and live video basically just, scans your environment constantly, and helps you basically understand if, like what's happening around you in real time without you having to ask questions, right? So those are things that can really help with navigation or assist with the existing forms of navigation that blind or low vision people are used to, like the white cane and so on. But it's great when you want to read street signs. When you want to know what a particular street sign says, right? It's the AI is so intelligent, that it's able to like look at a street sign and try to tell you what exactly it means. It's able to like give you a sense of like, whether the intersection is like free or not, whether are people like at that moment in time, are they like coming in, going out? And if you're at a train station or like an airport, you could use the glasses, for example, to navigate to the right, platform or the right gate. Ally is able to read things around you. Again, we put a lot of emphasis and effort on making sure Ally is a great tool for reading text. So you can, trust it to read text for you across all environments, right? So those are ways that we have seen our early testers use Ally for navigation.
You had mentioned street signs and menus and things like that. What if I'm traveling internationally and I am in a restaurant in Nice, France, and I want to know, oh, I
Mm,
wonder if they have such and such, but I don't know what that word is in French.
mm.
Will the glasses be able to translate?
Yeah, the glasses will be able to translate. It's able to speak 100 or so languages,
Oh.
much more than I can. There's some languages that I've noticed that's on this list, which I don't even know were languages, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, this language name call that, but yeah. But so AI is it's very capable. It's as smart as the smartest AI that you can find today. We like I said, Envision's always been about mixing and matching. Like we pick the right tools that are out there that do a really good job, and then wherever they don't do a good job, we step in and actually fill in the gaps to make a more complete solution, right? So instead of just relying on somebody else's technology alone, and or us reinventing the wheel from the ground up just because we want to, show off to the world that we're really cool engineers. We're trying to just do a good job by picking the best what that's out there and then filling in the gaps wherever, they're lacking. So in terms of just being able to translate different languages and have conversations in different languages, Ally is able to do that effortlessly.
How long were you in development with this?
Ooh, I won't be wrong if I say 5 years in the making. Ever since we launched the previous version of the Envision glasses, we've always been looking at what the market offers. In fact, I can tell with a lot of confidence that Envision probably has the Envision office in Rotterdam, Netherlands, has the most number of smart glasses in one place. Then we could open a museum. We could literally open a smart glasses museum. We've got hundreds of glasses. So our CFO keeps making fun of us that we just keep buying different types of smart glasses all the time and keep it in the office. But we've been looking at like, hundreds of types of units over the years. But active development on this started, about 6 months ago. And we just, and we started looking into these glasses. And again, Envision's approach to this has been partner with the best hardware provider we can find, right? And make it work with them. So in that way, Solos has been a great partner for us. They've listened to a lot of the feedback that we've provided them. They've tweaked things for us, and they're very committed to this community. And they've been around for a long, long time. So I can trust the fact that they're going to be around for another 5 years if we want them to.
Once they're released, once the glasses are released at the end of September, will they be available in various stores or still just online?
They will be available, on the Envision website. So if people want to pre-order right now, they can, pre-order it on our website. And even after the pre-order, they can come to the same website and buy it. But we're also partnering with a bunch of different organizations. We're partnering with a bunch of different distributors, and people will be able to, buy Ally Solos glasses from there as well, right? So we'll try and have a demo unit in almost every single organization that's related to blind or low vision people in the United States, in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, in all of these different places. We'll try and partner with as many organizations as possible. And for them, to spend $400 on a piece of technology that can have a huge impact, it's not a lot. So they're very open to having demo units at their place. And so people can always, eventually try them on, but it will take some time. It will take some time to go ahead and have it available in all these different other store options. But we ship across the world and people can just buy directly from Envision.
Will they ship directly from your headquarters or are they going to ship from Hong Kong or somewhere else?
They're going to be shipping from Hong Kong for the time being, right? So they're going to be, drop shipped to the customers and then they can just get the glasses, open it up, and then just pair it with the Ally app in half a minute and get going. That's how it's going to be.
And say again what you mentioned about organizations having access to a demo.
So with organizations, what we're trying to do is we're trying to partner with, we've been partners with a lot of organizations across the world, and many of them stock a pair of Envision glasses just to show their folks that, hey, these are AI glasses that you could use to read text and stuff. Similarly, we're going to be doing the same thing with organizations with regards to the Ally Solos glasses, right? We're just going to go ahead and, they're going to get a pair, they're going to have it, in their premises. So anyone who's visiting them in the future can just try them on and stuff. And besides, we will have distributors who will also stock these glasses across the world, so people will be able to buy it from them as well eventually. But for now, yeah, people can just simply go onto our website and buy it.
Do they come in more than one size? I know some glasses, it's a one size fits all type of thing. How about the Ally Solos?
Yes, so the Ally Solos glasses comes in two sizes. So there is an M/L size, and then there's an LXL size as well. So it comes in two sizes. Right now, it comes in a couple of frames, but we are partnering with Solos so that people can basically buy more frames, more colors, more options, and so on. But that will happen eventually, like a year down the line or something.
So those smaller ones, would they be small enough for a child? Was that the person you had in mind, or just a smaller person?
Yeah, like I think I'm talking about like a smaller person, like someone who has a smaller, head that but yeah, like we've not tried it out with a child, but I think with a preteen,
Yeah, that makes sense.
teenager onwards to someone who's more petite, and then you've got the LXL for the people with the wider faces, basically.
And remind us again what the website is where we can go and order them right now.
So people can actually just go to our website. That's ally.me/glasses. To spell it out, it's ALLY.me/glasses. That's GLASSES. They can go to our website. They can pre-order it right now, and the glasses will be available the end of September. All glasses come with a 30 days, no questions asked return policy as well. And they'll all be shipping, starting end of September. People can also already install the Ally app for free on their phones. Ally does not, we offer a free version where there's no strings attached. So people can just search for Ally on App Store or Play Store, or they can go to our website, ally.me, that's ALLY.me, and also use the web version of Ally. So Ally also is on the web, so you can use it on your desktop and in the web browser. So yeah, people can try out Ally already.
So the app that's already available is one that I could just take it out of my phone or take my phone out of my pocket, and if I need to know what's in front of me, I could just say whatever I needed to ask.
Yeah. That's basically how it is. So you just take it out, you install the app on your phone, you take the phone out, hit a button, and then you start having a conversation with Ally and just simply ask, hey, can you tell me what's in front of me, or can you read this out to me, or can you scan this document and summarize it for me? Ally does all of that for you, easily. And you can also text Ally as well. So if you're not interested in talking to Ally, you can just text it back and forth. That's also a possibility.
And the retail price point one more time?
The glasses are at $399.
And delivery sometime in September, or shipping out in September.
So correct. The pre-order started August 14th and the delivery is end of September. That's when we're aiming to get this out of the door.
Thank you, Karthik. It was great connecting again about this. Should people have any questions, comments, how can they reach you, or who should they contact?
They can just contact support@ally.me. So it's SUPPORT at ally.me. Or they can just, let's just install the, Ally app, and from within the Ally app, they can also reach out to us and ask us any questions. We're also available on social media as well. So across all platforms, that's on Twitter, on Facebook, we're there as ally.me. So it's at ALLYDOTME.
There you have it. Thank you again, Karthik. This is so exciting. It's very interesting to see how this space is evolving, and glad you guys are in it, because you're improving on your own game. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you so much, David, for having me in the conversation here today. Super excited about what you guys are doing with the podcast, and yeah, hopefully we'll definitely stay in touch and with more exciting updates from our side. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys grow over the years, and super great job with what you're all doing.
Thanks again to Karthik for reaching out and coming on and talking all about the new Ally Solos. Lisa, I'm very excited to check out these new smart glasses.
And I am too. I am usually not so quick to jump on whatever is the latest, wearable or just tech. I'm usually fine without. I live vicariously through others trying that stuff out. But these actually do sound, as Kartik explained, accessible. And I really did like that part of him breaking down what accessible really means and why these can be called the first AI glasses that are accessible.
Right, and made for us. And it just sounds, and don't get me wrong, there are some things that I wish it would do from day one, and I'm sure at some point they will get there. But the fact that they do have two cameras on them, they do have all the mics, and basically you're going to be able to control your phone. I know a lot of us have the Ray-Ban Metas, and some people have gone out and bought the Oakley Metas. But these are something that, while you can't record video right off the bat, you can take images, and of course, you can figure out your surroundings and read menus and whatever else you need to do, look in your fridge and find where the blueberries have been moved to with these glasses.
And I like that I could put my prescription in those too. So I'm not switching off, which I do now anyway. I have to sometimes switch off or take off my glasses to use the magnification on my phone because my glasses make the magnification blurry. So it's a whole thing. But this would just eliminate the need for that.
The big thing for me is how comfortable are they going to be to wear? I had a pair of smart glasses that I got in way too early on. As you mentioned, you kind of held off on them. I had these glasses and they were so uncomfortable to me. I couldn't
They
wear them for
heavy?
more than 10. They weren't heavy. The frames, the stems were so wide that they hurt my ears after only a few minutes of wearing them. And I would sometimes persist to try and keep them on longer and longer to see if I could get used to them. I never could.
Yeah.
And so I certainly have wasted money in the past. Now, had they done everything that I wanted them to do, I probably would have bared with them and continued with them, but I didn't because they never did. I don't know that they ever came out of the beta stage for testing and whatnot. I was very hopeful for them, as we all are. And you shared an email with me today about some other what sounds to be a miracle product, which we will follow up on, and maybe
Yeah.
one day we'll bring it to an episode. But we certainly have to do a little more research there. But
Mhm.
these sound so promising, and again, as long as they are comfortable, where people will want to wear them all day, then that's one of the biggest things that will get folks to buy them and use them often.
Yeah, because even though this is, I guess, considerably somewhat lower, that's still a lot of money for
Yes.
you to only maybe 6 months, a year, find out that there's something, even greater. Like, nobody has, well, not nobody, very few of us have that kind of luxury to just spend hundreds of dollars every, 6 months or a year. So you do want to be more confident and secure, when you make these purchases because something else is, like you said, coming down the pike.
Right. And
But
there
good.
always is something.
Yeah, there always is. But I'm so glad that he reached out to us, and I think this is a great product. This one does sound very promising, as you said.
And I'm disappointed because I now just thought of it. I should have talked to him about coming to our state convention in Harrisburg in November. And I thought about it the whole interview, and we talked a little bit afterwards, and then he left. And then I realized right now
Not
that I
too
didn't
late.
ask him. And maybe when we drop the episode, we'll reach back out. But speaking of the National Federation of the Blind State Convention, it's in Harrisburg, November 13th to the 16th. Registration is open, so you can go to nfbofpa.org/state-convention and read all about it. The agenda's not out yet, of course. We're offering an all-inclusive price for the first 6 weeks or so of registration. And for $200, it gets you every meal and your registration fee, no other fees other than your hotel stay and any other meals you may want to eat outside. Although I don't know why you would, because you're getting 9 meals and registration for $200. So again, nfbfpa.org/state-convention. And again, the link will be down below in the show notes.
So if you are thinking of purchasing these glasses, we would love to hear from you. So you can email us. If you have any thoughts about this episode, you can email us at whitecanesconnect@gmail.com.
Or reach out and leave us a voicemail, 267-338-4495. We'd love to know what you think. What smart glasses do you own now? Did you have the original Envision glasses that paired with the Google Glass or any other brands? I know that some of you are going to talk about specific glasses, and I'd love to hear that. Again, 267-338-4495, and let us know.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for listening. Take care.